Many people ask me the same question, Joseph, why don't you flip Office PCs like the ones from Dell, HP, and Lenovo? In this video, I'll tell you why. Okay, so long story short, in my opinion, Office PCs are just garbage, dumpster fire, whatever word you can call them. They're really badly designed, and they're designed for e-waste, and I'd rather smash them than flip them. Some of the issues I point out in this video may not be an issue on all Office PCs, but trust me, 99% of Office PCs will have the same issues. Office PCs were designed to be used in schools, businesses, and maybe in a basic desktop for your grandma. And they weren't really designed for some dude like me to start ripping these apart and flipping them. I only have really one big gripe about these PCs, is how their proprietary parts don't allow you to reuse these PCs to make a gaming computer. For me, it's not practical to be using Office PCs, as they were just designed as just not up to par for what I would use in a gaming PC. Okay, so let's just continue going over some of the gripes I have with proprietary parts. So this is probably one of the most annoyingest gripe I have with HP's, Dell's, and every other OEM Office PC. So if you look at a standard motherboard, like this one in my hands, this is like Gigabyte B85, D3H, like the same ones that you see in Joseph Zangflit's PCs. It has I/O on the front, as you see there. That's I/O. And also, pretty much those are where you plug in your USBs, your Ethernet. On the motherboard, you also get an I/O shield. So this pretty much, you put it in your case so that when you in the end install it in your case, do you see there? And it covers up all the gaps between the ports and makes it look clean. But you might think, what's the case on the HP? Is it just holes there? Not exactly. So on this HP, if you see close attention here, these ports over here is technically an I/O shield, but it's actually just part of the case itself. So you might want to get some cutting materials and try to cut it out. It will look really ugly and it won't actually stick in your case. Pretty much making this HP motherboard look like shit in the end. Okay, so another gripe I have with most pre-builts is its custom CPU cooling. It has some stupid plastic flap. The CPU, number one, the coolers are pretty much, it's dying because there's like no airflow. You see there's no airflow. It uses custom CPU mounting, and by the way, the whips is also, I believe, custom. You can't actually take the motherboard out because the part where the CPU cooler and the motherboard is technically stuck on the case, which is non-removable. It's pretty much useless if you want to take the motherboard and the CPU out of this shit HP case and to put it in one with more RGB bling. So you know how a PC has like your front I/O connectors where you can plug in your USB like the one on this HP, right? I believe most OEM PCs use proprietary front panel connectors. And you might think, what does that mean? Well, if you put this motherboard, CPU, RAM, if you figure out the other issues, you can actually plug in your power button, your USBs, and pretty much whatever else you have on your front panel that would work if you're using a non-OEM computer. That is a pain in the fucking ass. There's adapters which you can buy, but I'm a cheap PC flipper, so I don't want to be buying adapters like useless, like adapters that I don't need. But the adapters you had to buy and shipping to New Zealand, yeah, it makes the price the same. So this shit, not worth it for me. On this HP, they use a custom 2x6 pin power for the motherboard. So pretty much on standard computers, we use something called a 24-pin ATX. It's all standard. Most, actually pretty much all standard non-proprietary motherboards use it. But HP's, Dell's, and Lenovo's think differently. The thing is about these computers and these custom motherboard headers is that you can't actually replace the PSU unless you find one that's made by HP, Dell, and Lenovo. And the funniest thing about this is that HP, Dell, and Lenovo also make different PSUs for different computers. So pretty much, if this power supply breaks, or if you try to reuse this power supply, or you're trying to get a better power supply to get a better graphics card, you're fucked. Unless you figure out how to make adapters for this computer, it's not worth the time, it's not worth the money to even bother to fix the issues of a shit Office PC. Anyways, for those reasons, that's why I don't personally flip Office PCs. There's simply just too much of a hassle to even deal with in the first place. And they're really proprietary, as I said in the video. But anyways, so this is part one in I have no clue how much part series. In the next episode, I'll be disassembling one of these Office PCs, showing you how bad they are. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. Comment down below what you guys think about Office PCs, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.